Located on the northeast tip of Florida, Jacksonville Port Authority creates a significant impact on the economy of the Sunshine State. It ranks first in container traffic, bringing in almost $1.8 billion.
Shippers are looking for much more bang for their buck these days. It's cheaper for them to keep the cargo on the ship as long as possible, keep it on the ship until it's very close to its final destination. And so coming into a port like JaxPort and offloading cargo here that's maybe meant for population centers either up the East Coast or out into the Midwest is starting to make a lot more sense for shippers.
The need to transport more cargo in a single journey in order to save on fuel has increased. This demand has called for supersized cargo ships, which have doubled and even tripled in size in the last 2 years. However, this poses a threat to ports across the state, especially JaxPort.
What's happened recently is the ships continue to get larger and larger. About 100 years ago, there was a situation where the harbor here kept silting in. Materials kept filling the bottom of the river, and the ships at the time, although they were much smaller, were having a hard time passing through to the port facilities. So a wall was put up at an area called Mile Point, which is where the river and the intracoastal meet. And what that has done over the years has prevented some siltation, but has also started to cause an issue as the ships get larger.
Like Port Everglades and Port Miami, JaxPort had to dredge its waterways to host these larger vessels. In addition to deepening its waters, it faced another issue.
The outgoing tide or the ebb tide, and the channel's 40 feet deep, so that they're not able to utilize the full channel 24 hours a day.
Mile Point is located where the St. Johns River and Intracoastal Waterway meet. Ships have had to navigate its tough cross currents before accessing the port's terminals. It causes cargo ships to wait until high tide in order to navigate to their destination.
Those container ships have set schedules, and every time you delay one of those ships, you're costing somebody money. And in the end, it's the owner of the cargo that's paying more, and then of course it's the consumer, because in the end it's always going to be the consumer. A lot of our cargo is what we call discretionary cargo. It can really go to other ports. It can go a little bit further up the coast to some of the other major ports along the East Coast and be distributed to wherever it's going in the Midwest or the Northeast. We don't want it to go there. We're the first logical port of call. We want all that cargo to be loaded and unloaded here in Jacksonville, because every bit of that cargo creates jobs, creates opportunity for the private sector, and that's why we're here.
Today, I'm proud to announce that we are committing $36 million in state taxpayer funding for Phase 2 project to create more navigable, efficient, and safe routes for JaxPort.
Thanks to state funding, JaxPort will be able to improve navigation for these larger cargo ships.
Now we have a project that's going to reconfigure that wall, remove that obstruction, and open up the port almost 24 hours a day to all ship traffic, no matter the size of the ship. To deepen our harbor costs a lot of money, but the return on that investment will be competitiveness on the national stage. We'll grow our business, we'll bring more opportunity and more cargo to Jacksonville, and that's really what we're after.
It's an investment port authorities hope will not only benefit those living in the River City, but Floridians across the state.